So, good morning, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome here in the last session of Facing Chaos with Inner Peace. Are you looking forward to it, Sarah?
Yes, I am. I'm looking
Yes,
forward to it very much.
me too. You have a different glow.
Yes, if anybody's wondering, I've just come off the slopes, the snow mountains in Australia. Many of you will be surprised that there's snow, but yes, we have a snow-covered area larger than Switzerland, would you believe? And
Yeah.
I'm skiing, and I just came off, so you can see my windburn on my face from a bluebird day on the snow. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's easy to imagine what you look like a girl when I look at your cheeks. Yeah. Well, let's start. And the last topic of this series is stepping into the future. And as you know, we started this series as a response to whatever is going on in the world, all the chaos around us, and all the things you could be immensely afraid of, and all the impulses with anxieties and fears and stuff like that that's being fired at us. And in this last session, we'll explore how to step into the future, knowing everything is going on.
Mm.
Do you have any reflections on this topic,
Well,
Sarah?
thanks, Seats, because I enjoyed our conversation earlier because it brought me, actually, it brought me right back to where we began in many ways. And we did talk about this early on. And when I think about the future, I find the future incredibly hard to predict. And I found in my life that I tend to show up in life and engage with what's there. And you beautifully threw the challenge to me. Well, if we take it out of the personal and we think about facing chaos and everything that's going on in the world, then how do we face the future? And it takes me right back to what we talked about early on in the series and thinking about, and we can say, who am I? You know, here's little old me in the scheme of things, in the big wide world of things. Who am I? But in fact, I am part of the whole, and everything that I do contributes to the whole. Its impact may not be highly visible, but it's certainly, like even just these sessions, it's visible to everybody who participates in these sessions. And then you go out into the world and touch all of the people in your world. So that energy is traveling and doing its work. So if we think about this big scheme of things, how we show up is actually significant. So as we step into the future, the question for us is what choices do we want to make about how we engage with what is in front of us? Because if we want to shape the future, how we show up in the present is one of the very important elements. It's like what energy are we putting into the world with how we show up in all of the contexts that we're in and all of the people that we touch. So for me, you know, I'm very connected to that idea, the choices that I make moment by moment by moment. And I thought it was really interesting because I'm here in the snowy mountains, and what happens when I'm here and I'm away from all of the, you know, of the world, there's a chance for me to take a big, deep breath in and to really slow down and to reflect because I'm in a place that I feel perfectly safe, perfectly at peace. You know, I'm with my family and my grandchildren, and, you know, the whole, you know, it's just a beautiful human experience. And so that can put me in a very resourceful state to be able to think and even go back into the world and respond to the everyday as it's unfolding. And I know, Seats, you have an experience of your own around this notion.
Yeah, the similarity is that we're both not in our daily life. So I'm in Finland. We have a second home here, as many of you know by now. And I've spent the week here with my daughter, Iris. She's 15 years old. And to be honest, I could stay here forever and live different life, but it's different. It's a different experience as you are describing, Sarah. Because when I listen to you, you said that you feel safe and you have your whole family around you. I don't have my whole family around me, and I'm not sure if I'm safe. I don't know the animals living here. I know there's bears in this area, and I'm in a very secluded place. So if my car breaks down, I would have to walk, I think, 2.5 hours to reach the city, and I can't phone anybody. And yet, when I'm here, my heart opens and I start breathing differently.
Mm.
So I love being here. And here is a whole new story. Here is a whole new option. You could live like this as well. Of course, I would need to learn a lot of things about how to be safe here, but there's a different future possible. And then I know when I'm back in the Netherlands and I'm back in my daily routine and back at work, I just, get sucked into it as we do, and then live a different life again. But it's a reminder of how there's options and how there's choice. But I'm also a bit hesitant to say it because I feel so privileged being able to live like this and have a choice like this. And I wonder, what does it take to reconnect with that? What does it take? What does it need to be able to imagine different futures? Because if you can imagine different futures, you can be free of today's experience. And that is very helpful not to get sucked into it. So these are some reflections.
I thought also you said something, Seats, when we were talking, which was I'm wondering if it touches other people too. And that's the power of nature. When we go into nature, whether it is, as you and I are very lucky to be able to, I'm lucky to be in the snow. You're fortunate to have your place in Finland. But certainly I know that whenever I go into a beautiful garden or whenever I go into a park that's beautifully cared for, or there's something healing about nature. And I'm wondering, that can sometimes be the sanctuary that's more accessible to more people than perhaps the privileges that we're describing. Yeah.
So let's close as we always do. Let's go to the breakout rooms. And we have 2 questions for you. Of course, we have questions. And the first question is, what is no longer true? When you connect to future, what is no longer true? And this is a question I really love to ask because people forget to adjust their thoughts and their opinions on what is possible today. So what is no longer true? And the second question is, what has become possible now? And this question is an invitation to open up. What is no longer true and what has become possible now? We'll make breakout rooms. You're in groups of 3 or 4, and you'll have about 14 minutes, and then we'll call you back. So everybody's back. If there's something you'd like to share or you'd like to say, you can raise your hand. If you use the digital hand, we can see it. And if you don't know where to find it, try your physical one. If we see it, I can call your name and then you can open your microphone. Is there anything you'd like to share, to comment on, to explore?
Really?
Yeah, Veerle.
Could find my hand. It was really nice exchanging with the 2 other ladies. I think what is no longer true is that it's difficult to define the future, because maybe before we could see, oh, these are the milestones, and this is the goals, and so we get there. So it's now more be present than sitting on the flow and see what is coming to us or where we walk to. And the curiosity in those things and the possibilities is something that we might enjoy. And even if there is like chaos around us, presence always brings us back. And sometimes it's yeah, close to us. We don't have to look far for it, but it's just in the surroundings. And social media sometimes is a pitfall because there's another world going on than maybe the real world around us. So that's what we exchanged in summarized.
Thank you, Veerle.
Welcome.
Thank you. Sarah, do you remember when we were here? And here in Finland, the two of us, and we were creating this offer. Do you know for you where it started? And since we're at the last part of it, where have we ended?
Well, for me, it doesn't feel like an ending because I carry these things as a part of me. So this whole experience of creating space to slow down, to do things that are nourishing for self, that help me resource myself. And, you know, when I share that with somebody else, you know, that it's like a ripple effect that, and it comes back to me too, you know, so it feels more like a continuation. And it's like being in the presence of other people that is expanding my connections in the world. So I feel I have a greater feeling of this, I'm one amongst many. So the whole experience keeps me coming back to remembering, you know, it's like this idea, if you share something with others, you have to think about it to share it. And that sharing is expanding, and it's expanding of me, you know, in the act of doing that. So yeah, it's like the ripples. That's what it feels like to me. So I don't have that feeling like, oh, it's ending. It's
Me
more like
neither.
I'm taking something with me that I'm so grateful for. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, look at all these lovely comments coming through. And what about you, Seeds? What for you when you think when we started?
For me, it started when we were sitting at a table discussing things that are going on in the world, feeling small and feeling overwhelmed even, and also a bit helpless, out of touch with what is it we can do. And I have often thought when I was younger, if I was to live during the times of World War II, what would I do? Would I be brave? Would I take risks? Would I hide? Would I help people? Would I turn the other way? What is it what I would do? And I know I'm not supposed to make any comparisons, and I know the world is really different, but still there's quite a few similarities, especially if you compare the 30s to our 20s now. So to me, this series take place in that kind of thinking. What is it, what I would do? How can I stay loyal to what I believe in, even if it's not what I'm supposed to do? And even if I can't make sense of things that are going on. So for me, this series was the best way possible, the most fun way possible to stay in touch with whatever is going on without being led, but what is being described in media, social media, but truly finding my own place so I can face it with my inner peace, which is a different one than yours and other people. So I'm really grateful that everybody of you wanted to join us in this journey, and I'm grateful for our friendship. Sarah, thank you for creating this together. I couldn't think of anybody else with whom I could do this, so I'm really grateful for that. And for everybody here and everybody looking at the video, I want to thank you for joining us and spending some time. And I hope it brings you prosperity, it brings you abundance, but most of all, it brings you the inner peace, because I believe that's the best way to live your life. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Seeds. The feeling is completely mutual. And what I hope people take is that in these chaotic times, when we reach out to community, something happens that is very powerful and very resourcing. And as long as we can stay connected to our humanity, we can navigate these things. Yeah.
Here, here.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Turn on your microphone, say goodbye, have a lovely summer. I hope to see you next time.
Bye-bye.
Dankjewel.
Bye-bye.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so much.
Bye bye, dankjewel. Super, mooie zomer. Dankjewel.
Warme winter. Doei, doei.
Oh, beautiful.
Bye bye.
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 Zit je op een boot, Jolan?